Oh, thank you. So let's talk a little bit about privacy and security, why it matters in today's landscape.
As technology has grown and evolved, so has fraud sophistication. And dealing with fraud is not only costly and time-consuming, but can also undermine trust and be catastrophic for your customers who've trusted you with their financial information. But a lack of transparency and understanding of responsible data practices, even if not outright fraudulent, can also undermine trust. Maintaining a safe environment where your customers feel their data and identities are protected while simultaneously reducing the risk of data misuse or abuse is a challenge that Plaid can help you with. And speaking of your customers, let's take a look at how the consumer landscape has changed in general. Nearly 9 in 10 Americans today use some form of digital finance app to manage their financial lives, which inevitably means people are sharing more data than ever before. Not surprisingly, concerns about whether their data is secure and private are two of the most important factors when consumers manage their personal finances, with more than 92% of consumers saying that keeping their data secure and private is extremely or very important to them. Ultimately, consumers want to know that they're safe online and expect meaningful control over their financial information. So as fintech adoption continues to grow, powering a safe digital financial ecosystem is a paramount priority, and it's one that we are excited to continue to support.
You know, and it's not just the consumers who care about privacy and security. It's the regulators as well. So if those consumer stats that we were just showing you doesn't get you, maybe this information about what the regulators are thinking will get your attention. As COVID-19 has really accelerated the digital financial industry with consumers increasingly shifting their lives to online services, regulators have responded with heightened awareness around security and privacy practices of companies that operate in this digital sphere, particularly the large technology companies. And this has led for calls for new privacy laws, new regulations, more enforcement activities, which will likely have implications for all technology companies, not just the primary targets. We have already seen the passage of new privacy laws. We've got California, Colorado, Utah, Virginia, and now Connecticut most recently. And it's not just in the United States, really. You look at Quebec in Canada recently passed some new privacy legislation, and we see that the European Union is continuing its march towards more regulation around data handling practices, including, for example, with their AI regulation that they have proposed. And here's the thing. We welcome regulation if it does its job to protect consumers, because that reinforces that trust that is so crucial to a thriving marketplace, that marketplace that we were talking about earlier. And if it makes consumers feel more confident about participating in the digital financial ecosystem, that's good for consumers, but that's also good for all of us as well. We expect, and have even advocated for, aggregators like Plaid to come under the direct supervision of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to provide further assurances to the ecosystem.
So as consumer and regulatory expectations shift, we have an opportunity to proactively meet those expectations and set new industry standards together to build a system that works for everyone, puts consumers at the center, and recognizes that maintaining and building a trustworthy ecosystem is a benefit to everyone. We were founded on the principle that consumers have a right to their financial information, that they should be able to decide where, how, and with whom their data is shared. Implicit in that is also that they should be able to decide where, how, and with whom their data is not shared.
And as a result, our privacy and security mission is to preserve and increase trust across the digital financial services ecosystem by building world-class security, privacy, and data ethics practices at Plaid. Our hope is that by building a safer digital finance ecosystem, more consumers will feel more confident about using digital finance apps like yours. And as we make this mission a reality, we take into account these key building blocks: security, transparency, and meaningful control. Financial information is both personal and powerful, and that's why security is one of the first things that we think about when we build products and services. Our information security program and products are designed to help keep data safe from fraud and fight fraud every step of the way. Next, we work hard to make our policies and our practices and our role in the account connection process transparent and easy to understand for consumers. Helping consumers understand what is happening with their financial information is also really important for meaningful control. But we also build tools to make it easier for consumers to control how they share with their data from their financial institutions. Underlying all of this is that core belief that because financial information belongs to the consumer, we should be good data stewards. We should be good stewards of that data and use it responsibly and for the good of consumers. It's why we don't sell or rent data, for example. And earlier today, you heard from our CTO, Jean Denis. He talked a bit about some of the privacy and security building blocks that help shorten that moment between when the consumer first hears about your cool app and has that first magic aha moment using it. We're excited to go deeper and share more about how we have built and will continue to build on these themes of security, transparency, and meaningful control.
Looking back over the last few quarters, here are a few key ways that we've moved the needle in these three categories. First, let's dive into security. Plaid, along with a group of fintech and security companies, recently announced the Open Finance Data Security Standard, or OFDSS, which is a proposed framework of requirements that address security risks commonly encountered by emerging digital finance companies that handle consumer financial information. OFDSS provides strong, auditable guidelines that align with the common criteria found in other security frameworks, as well as clear requirements that are optimized for cloud-native and technology-focused startups and growth-stage companies. And here's the great thing about OFDSS. It will help instill even more confidence in the fintech ecosystem and demonstrates that there are robust protections in place to safeguard consumer data. It is also an example of how Plaid seeks to not only meet, but also exceed and set new industry standards.
Now, why don't we take a look at how we have added more meaningful controls to our products. In September of last year, we rolled out the updated Account Select pane to give users even more control and transparency when linking their accounts using Plaid. As you may know, as you can see on the screen, there are 3 versions of the account selection pane to allow you to request one account, multiple accounts, or all accounts. The updated pane is now required, and we are proud of how this empowers consumers to have even more meaningful control over and transparency into the financial information they share with you and Plaid. And this brings us to our next theme of transparency.
As Sheila mentioned, we strive to make our role in the account connection process transparent and easy to understand through products like Plaid Portal and our consent pane. Earlier this year, we announced the general availability of Plaid Portal, a privacy tool designed for consumers who've connected their financial accounts to apps and services. Plaid Portal enables people who've connected their accounts through Plaid to be able to view which apps have access to that data and control where it is shared. We also recently updated our consent pane so that you can incorporate your branding alongside Plaid's on this pane. Here's the great thing about our consent pane. It helps to explain what is happening when a consumer authorizes Plaid to be the steward of their data. Both Plaid Portal and consent pane helped us earn recognition as one of the top 10 most innovative security and privacy companies in 2022. We are so proud of the work that we've done in these 3 categories and are excited to continue to move the needle forward.
And looking forward, we're working hard to keep building on these themes of security, transparency, and meaningful control as we build out our products. Today, we're pleased to give you a preview of some of the new initiatives on our roadmap.
First, as you may have seen in recent press articles, we are partnering with Very Good Security and Skyfloat through our new Solution Partner Program, which enables Plaid to offer solutions in collaboration with our partners, and in this case, helps Plaid to enable a best-in-class approach to security and privacy. Let's start by talking about Very Good Security, or VGS. VGS will provide tokenization and financial data vaulting services to Plaid customers. Their product Zero Data Platform enables companies to collect, protect, and exchange sensitive data by replacing the information through tokenization. This will help to ensure end-to-end data security for Plaid customers by seamlessly integrating VGS services alongside Plaid APIs. VGS will also help customers reduce their costs associated with protecting and safeguarding sensitive data by up to 50%. Next, let's talk about SkyFlow. SkyFlow makes it easy for you to collect, protect, govern, and use the sensitive data that Plaid provides access to without putting that data at risk. SkyFlow's data privacy vault sits between you, the fintech customer, and Plaid, intercepting and tokenizing sensitive information. So, for example, a common use case for SkyFlow would be to tokenize and protect sensitive personal or financial information, or to help your company comply with requirements such as GDPR. I want to highlight that we form these partnerships because we want to make it easier for you to build with security and privacy in mind. This is part of our broader mission to help instill stronger security and privacy practices in the fintech ecosystem because, as we mentioned, thriving commercial ecosystems run on trust.
Next, we're continuing to provide consumers with even more meaningful control over their personal data. So one example of this is the capabilities that we are building to enable our data partners, like financial institutions, to offer more privacy tools to their consumers. We're building tools to provide an up-to-date, synchronized consumer permission dashboard within the data partner's own existing web or mobile experiences. With this solution, consumers will be able to view and manage their Plaid-powered connections and directly from their financial provider's site, including updating what specific data is being shared and their finance accounts are connected to those apps. Permission changes are passed through the ecosystem. So regardless of where the consumer goes, they can express their data sharing preferences. They can go to the financial institution or to Plaid Portal. And by sharing those preferences, all parties in the ecosystem can make sure that we're reflecting the consumer's preferences and acting upon that consumer's intent with regard to how they want their financial information handled. So I'd like to highlight that this new permission dashboard really builds on the benefits of Plaid Portal and is another way that we're really strengthening the whole ecosystem by introducing meaningful privacy controls to our products. As we look ahead at our privacy roadmap, another area that we're really excited to be talking about today is focusing on just-in-time transparency, or said differently, providing helpful information to consumers at the right point in the product flow experience. Regulators and consumer advocates really encourage this just-in-time transparency as a best practice because it helps ensure consumers really understand what is happening with their data. And our consumer privacy team has been working to develop a new feature that brings that just-in-time transparency to our link flow, which Jennifer can tell you more about.
This summer, we plan to introduce this new feature that will bring consumers transparency into the different types of data that the app is requesting access to, such as transactions, accounts and balance info, or account and routing numbers. I'm excited to be sharing an early preview of this feature today, which you can see up on the slide. The scopes or types of data that are shown on this pane are determined by the different types of products that you initialize Link with. The scopes that are listed are here to educate consumers about the different types of data being used, and scopes cannot be deselected, so consumers choose either to move forward or exit Link. As part of our feature development process, we've been talking to customers and asking them for their feedback. Several customers have mentioned that they would like to be able to customize the wording on this pane, so we incorporated that feedback and made this pane editable, so that you can write your own copy at the top of the pane to explain your use case for the data you're collecting. We are also running several pilots with a few customers to help us test this feature, and these pilots will help to inform the final feature development. Eventually, this feature will be incorporated into all Link flows, and as I mentioned, we hope that this feature will become available in the coming months, so please keep a lookout for that and consider being an early adopter once it becomes available.
Beyond it being the right thing to do for consumers, by investing in privacy and security products and practices, we hope to ultimately help you succeed in your own business missions. First, investing in privacy and security helps enable trust in the ecosystem. Just as we were saying before, that means that helps get the right people to this thriving marketplace. And our recent brand research shows that consumers who are more familiar with Plaid are 25% more comfortable sharing their information with digital finance apps. This leads to a better onboarding and engagement experience with your apps, which could also help you manage your acquisition needs. Second, our privacy and information security strategy is thoughtfully designed to help keep bad actors out of the system, effectively minimizing information security risks in the ecosystem. And finally, as regulators are increasingly prioritizing privacy and security, it's never been more important to invest in these practices. For instance, we anticipate that there will be additional disclosure requirements coming down the pike from the regulators in the not too distant future. And so we are hoping that by investing in these privacy best practices and these updates to the link flow, that we can help you stay ahead of the regulatory demands without slowing down the growth of your company, ultimately saving you time and resources so you can really focus on innovating and delivering the best experience for your customers.
As we wrap up this session, I want to highlight a few ways that you can take action to incorporate some of the best practices and new features that we covered in today's session. First, if you're interested in implementing VGS or Skyflow's technologies, please reach out to your Plaid point of contact who will connect you with our Solution Partner Program. Second, we encourage you to be early adopters whenever we release new privacy features. As I mentioned, we hope that the new product scopes feature will become available this summer, so please keep a lookout for communications regarding that. Additionally, if you're interested in bringing consent permissions management into your product offering, please reach out to your Plaid contact or connect with us at financial-institutions@plaid.com. Lastly, if you've been an early adopter or beta tester of any of our previous features, we want to extend an extra thank you to you. You play a critical role in helping us shape and inform our privacy roadmap and initiatives. And on that note, we would really encourage you to please take a few minutes to fill out this 2-minute survey to help us better understand your perspectives on consumer privacy, as well as how we can better address your pain points.
We really do value hearing your feedback. Your input helps us better understand what is and what isn't working for you, and it helps us build a better roadmap for us to help you meet your needs. This survey also includes a section for you to express interest in our privacy community board. This is a new group that's being built out now, but the idea is that you'll have an opportunity to meet with privacy industry leaders, maybe pressure test some of our roadmap ideas, and even be alpha testers. And with that, we thank you so much for your time. And if you have any further questions, if we didn't manage to address any questions you have, please come visit us at the privacy section in Plaid Labs. Thank you so much.